The Great American Ballpark will be the new home of the Cincinnati Reds for the upcoming 2003 season. Built upon the banks of the Ohio River, the first things fans will notice are the huge concourses, which will provide views of the ballpark, river, and city skyline. 2 3-story brick buildings, a parking garage, and an open pavilion surround the park. The pavilion is called Crosley Terrace, a concrete area with some grass and trees that will be adorned with statues of Reds legends as the fans pass into the stadium. The new park should seat just above 42,000 fans and have many of the modern features that most new ballparks have. On top of the left field bleachers is the primary scoreboard. The clock that rests on top of the main scoreboard in left field will be a replica of the clock that was used at Crosley Field. A picnic area overlooking the river sits in center field, and the right field bleachers have only one level. This park should favor hitters, particularly left-handed hitters, because there is not a whole lot of foul territory and the distances down the lines are fairly shallow. When the Metrodome was opened for baseball in 1982 and became the home of the Minnesota Twins, the term home field advantage was redefined. Home field advantage has never been so prominent. The Twins have never lost a World Series game at the Metrodome. It is the only air-supported dome in the major leagues and is covered by more than 10 acres of Teflon-coated fiberglass. The infamous white roof makes it difficult for fielders to see the ball when it's hit high in the air because the ball blends in with the white-colored roof. Not only do fielders have trouble seeing the ball against the roof, but some balls have also been hit off the roof, and on one occasion, through the roof. The sheer loudness of the crowds in the Metrodome set new decibel records, which can help a team just as much as being familiar with the park. To make matters worse for a defense, fans wave white homer hankies during a rally, which makes picking the ball up off the bat extremely difficult. The big blue baggie in right field is a 23-foot wall that is made with a plastic cover to hide some of the retractable football seating. Singles hitters and gap hitters tend to fare well here, as they would on most turf fields, but the dome heavily favors left-handed batters who can take aim at the big blue baggie in right field. Pitchers should try to keep the ball in the middle of the field and take advantage of the fairly poor visibility. The Metrodome has hosted 2 World Series and the 1985 All-Star Game. Plans for a new retractable roof ballpark for the Twins are underway. Jacobs Field has been the home of the Cleveland Indians since 1994. The attendance at Indians games boomed almost as soon as the gates opened. The Jake, as the park is commonly known, has a classic look and many modern luxuries. Just about every seat in the house has an excellent view of downtown Cleveland. The bleachers at left sit atop a 19-foot wall, and the bullpens are raised above the playing field so the fans can see who is warming up. There are picnic areas and restaurants located beyond the outfield fence, and the huge 120 by 200-foot scoreboard stands above the bleachers. Even though the distances down the lines are the same, the short right field porch favors left-handed pull hitters, while the 19-foot wall in left can limit right-handed batters by keeping some of their deep drives in the park. Triples are more frequent here due to the unpredictable caroms caused by the jagged dimensions. Hitters complain that the batter's visibility isn't the best, particularly in the daytime, when reflections off of the buildings can be distracting. The combination of thick grass and a hard dirt surface make the infield inconsistent, which can confuse infielders and cause bad hops at any time. Jacobs Field has hosted 2 World Series and 1 All-Star game and still ranks as one of the best places to see a game. Miller Park became the new home of the Milwaukee Brewers in 2001. The new facility has a traditional look, but has a retractable dome roof to protect against the cool weather in Wisconsin during the spring and fall. The roof retracts like a fan and can open or close within 10 minutes. Like the other newly built stadiums, Miller has modern conveniences like open-air patios and walkways, pubs and restaurants, and a museum. The facade of Miller Park consists of red brick and arched windows along the entrance. Fans are closer to the action on the field because each seating level hangs over others slightly. Concourses on the field level allow fans to see the game while walking around the ballpark. The famous slide that the Brewers mascot rides was placed behind the concourse in left center. A huge video scoreboard rests above the hitter's backdrop in center field. Manual scoreboards located on both the left and right field walls keep fans notified of scores of other MLB games. The foul poles are only 315 feet away, which is very reachable for pull hitters from either side of the plate, but the power alleys are fairly deep. The deeper dimensions in the power alleys should help out pitchers tremendously, but there is very little foul territory, so pitchers won't get as many cheap outs from foul balls. Miller Park hosted last year's All-Star game and has been well received by fans and players. Minute Maid Field was opened for the start of the 2000 season and is the home of the Houston Astros. This new facility is located in downtown Houston and features a retractable roof that can close in less than 20 minutes, which will eliminate any factors the hot and muggy weather may have on a game. Minute Maid has all of the modern amenities that most new stadiums have, like playgrounds, restaurants, and a new sound system. The most distinguishing feature at Minute Maid is the unique center field area called Towels Hill. The fence sits 435 feet away from home plate, by far the deepest in the majors. Not only that, but the little alcove that is created just to the left of dead center has a hill leading up to the wall and a flagpole in the field of play. This setup leads to some interesting plays when the ball is hit into deep center field. Minute Maid is a good park for hitters, though the park's actual effect on the offense is greatly exaggerated, especially when compared to Coors Field. Right-handed batters have a bit of an advantage because the 21-foot fence in left field is only 315 feet away, and the left center power alley stands at a mere 362 feet. Pitchers can do well at Minute Maid, particularly if they can prevent hitters from pulling the ball. The new infield surface is smooth and plays very clean, which will help ground ball pitchers, but there's not a whole lot of foul territory, which costs pitchers. Minute Maid Park will host the 2004 All-Star Game. Networks Associates Coliseum was opened for baseball in 1966 and is the home of the Oakland Athletics. The park was called the Mausoleum in the late 1970s when the entire stadium was gray concrete in color, the scoreboard didn't work, and the A's were terrible. The net got a facelift before the 1996 season in order to get football back to the Oakland area. All of the outfield bleachers were removed, and the video boards were moved above the stadium roof down both the left and right field lines. Historically, the net has been one of the best pitchers' parks in the American League. All pitchers greatly benefit from the thick infield grass and the 16-foot walls in the power alleys that help keep long fly balls in the park. The net also has the largest amount of foul territory in the majors. Because of this, experts estimate that the foul territory at the net reduces batting averages by roughly 5 to 7 points. The sun can be tough on a defense in this park, particularly in right field. Network Associates Coliseum has hosted 6 World Series and an All-Star Game. Since 1972, the Coliseum has hosted 36 postseason games, and the A's have won 22 of those contests. Catfish Hunter pitched a perfect game here in 1968. Ricky Henderson broke Lou Brock's career stolen base record with his patented head-first slide in 1991. Oakland officials are looking into building a new ballpark for the A's in the near future. Originally designed for the 1976 Olympic Games, Olympic Stadium has been the home of the Montreal Expos since 1977. It was supposed to be the first stadium to feature a retractable roof, but they were never able to get the roof to retract, so a new permanent roof was installed in 1998. This park bears a resemblance to other parks built in the 70s, but it has a slightly different feel. All messages are spoken in French and English, and the Canadian and American national anthems are sung before each game. The technical ring that surrounds the stadium on the inside of the roof has sparked some interesting situations. An orange line was painted on the technical ring after it was hit with a controversial foul ball. Since then, balls that have hit the rings have been ruled fair and therefore home runs because of this orange line. The roof improves offense by keeping out the cold northern air, and the turf caters to fast teams. The high outfield walls and the generous foul territory help make Olympic Stadium a good pitcher's park. Tim Raines set the single-season stolen base record for rookies at this park in 1981. Olympic Stadium has yet to host a World Series, but hosted the 1982 All-Star Game. If the Expos remain in Montreal, a new park would certainly be a consideration. Oriole Park became the home of the Baltimore Orioles in 1992 and sent a message to the baseball world. After an extremely successful debut during the 1992 season, Oriole Park sent a message to baseball owners: build a ballpark in the downtown area that combines modern features with classic charm. The new park revived the Baltimore Harbor area, and the shops and restaurants that surrounded the park flourished. This park started the trend to build retrofitted ballparks with both modern amenities and classic appeal to help revitalize the downtown area. The park's design went away from the generic multi-sport facilities that were constructed in the 70s and was built with a style and an old-fashioned charm like the parks from the turn of the century. The brick exterior gives Oriole Park a traditional appearance, and features like the unique double-deck bullpens in left center field add a modern touch. The most recognizable feature at Oriole Park is the warehouse that looms over the right field wall. The warehouse is the longest building on the East Coast and contains offices, restaurants, and other shops that create a festive pre- and post-game atmosphere at Camden Yards. After an inaugural season, the fences were pushed back considerably, and the park was transformed from a bandbox to a pitcher's delight. At first glance, the right field wall looks rather shallow at 318 feet, but the 25-foot wall and the 373-foot gap in right center will take some home runs away from left-handed hitters. Although this is a pitcher's park, right-handed batters have a bit of an edge over lefties because the ball travels well to left field and the power alley isn't as deep as it is in right. The infield grass here is cut higher than most fields, which will give infielders more time to react to ground balls and allow them to make more plays. This park will forever be remembered as the place where Cal Ripken played his 2,131st consecutive game, breaking the immortal Lou Gehrig's record for consecutive games played. Oriole Park has yet to host a World Series game, but hosted the 1993 All-Star Game in its second year of existence. In 2000, Pacific Bell Park became the home of the San Francisco Giants. This park was the first privately funded ballpark built for Major League Baseball since Dodger Stadium was opened in 1962. Wind conditions are greatly improved from the old Candlestick Park, as modern design technology allows for construction that can block the wind effectively. Like many of the other new baseball parks, Pac Bell was modeled like a classic ballpark, with irregular outfield contours and many distinguishing features like the huge glove in left field and the sign on the left field wall that pokes slightly above the top of the fence. Pac Bell's most distinguishing feature is the unique public promenade stretching along the waterfront from right field to center field. Ferries dock just beyond the right field wall, and fans will sail by the park with fishing nets waiting for home run balls to drop into the water. The area behind the 25-foot right field wall is known as McCovey Cove, after the former Giant slugger who used to consistently drive the ball to right field with authority. The new grass blend used in the infield at Pac Bell has played exceptionally well, and errors at the park have fallen below the league average. Left-handed pull hitters certainly benefit from the shallow right field line, though the enormous right center field gap will hurt lefties who use the middle of the field. Southpaws seem to have an advantage in this park due to the deep left center field alley where many mistakes can get flagged down. Pacific Ballpark hosted last season's World Series. However, the park will be remembered for Barry Bonds' record-breaking 71st and 72nd home runs during the 2001 season. PNC Park became the new home of the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2001. From the grandstands at PNC, Pirate fans have fantastic views of the downtown Pittsburgh skyline and the Roberto Clemente Bridge. The park is much smaller than the other retrofitted ballparks built in this decade, which gives it a cozy, intimate feel. With only 38,127 seats, PNC Park is the smallest park in terms of capacity next to Fenway. This is the first ballpark built with a two-deck design in the United States since Milwaukee's County Stadium was completed in 1953. Because there are only two decks, fans are closer to the field and get a good view of the game regardless where they are seated. The light towers in this new park are reminiscent of Forbes Field and are certainly unique from other modern ballparks. A restaurant located in left field has a 500-person party deck on the roof, which offers views of the field and of the city. The 42-foot by 24-foot scoreboard is situated behind the bleachers in left field, and the bullpens are located in center field. The out-of-town scoreboard is part of the 21-foot-high right field fence, which honors Pirate legend Roberto Clemente, who wore number 21. Though the right field line is measured at 320 feet away from home, the tall fence is tough to clear. Like many of the other parks that were built recently, PNC has spacious power alleys that would help fly ball pitchers. Pittsburgh native Sean Casey collected the first hit and the first home run in this stadium. With a new home secured, the Pirates hope to rekindle the winning tradition that produced 6 trips to the World Series. Pro Players Stadium was built in 1987 for football, but was converted for baseball in 1993 and became the home of the Florida Marlins in their inaugural season. The unpredictable weather in the Miami area is always a factor at this park. Though the park does not have the standard classic feel, the outfield wall has many nooks and crannies that lead to many interesting bounces. The second deck outfield seats are covered by canvas and are not used for baseball. The left center field area is the most distinguishing feature at Pro Players Stadium, with a 28-foot scoreboard known as the Teal Tower, which seems to attract baseballs and produces odd caroms that can fool even the best outfielders. The scoreboard creates an odd angle in deep left center field that is called the Bermuda Triangle because fly balls seem to just disappear once they reach that area. This park is awfully tough on power hitters because the ball doesn't carry well even in the warm weather. Over the years, right-handed batters seem to have a slight edge, particularly if they can pull the ball and keep it from floating into the deep left center field area. More triples than normal are hit here because of the interesting dimensions. Fly ball pitchers tend to do very well here because of the deep dimensions and the damp Florida air. Al Leiter tossed a no-hitter here in May of 1996. Barry Bonds launched his 400th career home run at this park in 1998. Pro Players Stadium hosted the exciting 1997 World Series, where Edgar Renteria's hit in the bottom of the 11th won the series for the Marlins. There has been some discussion of building a retractable roof baseball-only facility in Miami, but nothing has been decided as of yet. Known as San Diego Stadium at the time, Qualcomm Stadium became the home of the San Diego Padres in 1969. The Q is decorated with palm trees along the outfield fence and was fully enclosed for the 1997 season. Due to the unconventional configuration of the bullpen area, this is the only park where a foul ball can be caught out of sight of all umpires and most players. This creates a situation where an outfielder can chase the ball into the corner and look toward home plate, only to have his view obstructed by the stands. It is also the only park where the bullpen dirt area actually touches the foul lines. The scoreboard has remained in the same place behind the right center field seats since the stadium opened, even though the outfield seating has changed over the years. Even though the Padres moved the fences forward in 1982, the Q was still a good pitcher's park. The ball does not carry well, and there's an above-average amount of foul territory, but more importantly, the visibility is quite poor. The park doesn't seem to affect singles hitters, partly because the grass infield can play like turf without eliminating bad hops, which can add to a batter's hit totals. Lou Brock set the all-time stolen base record during a game held at this park in 1977, a record broken 2 decades later by Rickey Henderson. Qualcomm Stadium has hosted 2 World Series and 2 All-Star games. The Padres will be moving into a new stadium in 2004.